Due to convenience and other factors, we get the milk we use at home out of the bulk tank of a local farm. I find that this tastes a lot better than store-bought milk. There can be a couple reasons for that. One of these is that the milk itself is a lot fresher. Though both of these were bought on the same day, 2 days ago, this milk came out of the cows on that same day or maybe the evening before. Whereas this store-bought milk currently has a sell-by date of today. So it's a lot older than the milk that we got from the local farm. The other factor is that we get milk from the local farm as whole milk, whereas in this case this is 2% milk. Though recently we've been skimming off some of the cream to make ice cream. This is not complete and this milk still has some cream in it. I don't have an exact percentage of this milk, so it's fairly similar. It's not exactly the same, of course, but this is 2% and this has some cream but not the full whole milk. So it's a decent comparison. What I am really going to be testing in this taste test is pasteurization. This store-bought milk is pasteurized while the milk we get from the farm coming right out of the bulk tank is raw. Another thing is homogenization. Most store-bought milk is homogenized, which means that the milk and the fat doesn't separate. I'm not sure exactly the process, but I believe it's breaking the fat down into small enough pieces it stays suspended in the milk to some degree. This, again, coming right out of the bulk tank, is non-homogenized. To pasteurize milk, you need to have it above 161 degrees Fahrenheit for 1 minute. There are different ways that you can do it, but this is what we use for yogurt, and so that is what I'm going to use for this method of pasteurizing milk, because that's what we're normally using in our household to pasteurize milk for yogurt. And that alarm is going off because we want to, and I'm continuing to heat it to make sure it stays above that for 1 minute, but now it's probably enough. And then I'll package it into glass jars and put it into the fridge along with the other milks, and then we'll set up a blind taste test. So we have raw milk, we have milk that I pasteurized at home, and commercial milk. And we don't know which one it is. We've done a mix and match that we can trace back, but at this point it's gone through multiple people, so we don't know which one each one is. Start with A.
Let's swirl it around a little bit and look at it.
How much sticks up to the glass?
Right. Feels like pasteurized milk to me.
Feel like something
Yeah,
you don't usually drink.
Yeah, I'd agree with you on that one.
Yeah. Yeah, it has like a
My guess is feels like store milk.
a little bit burnt or taste to it or something.
I wouldn't necessarily, but it feels thinner is how I describe it.
Yeah, maybe lower fat content. What do you know what the fat contents are?
It was 2%.
2%, but
And
we've
we
skimmed.
tried to make ours 2%. This one, just looking at it, you can see it looks like
definitely has some fat on top, so we
Right.
know it isn't.
we know it's one of ours, but we don't know if it's our. My guess of it might be the raw milk. I'm trying to mix it around a little bit.
I
It
think
definitely
this
has a
is probably the
different
pasteurized. This is different.
Yeah. I mean, that's it.
Yeah,
It's different than normal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely has like a flavor to it or something. But this one I don't see the milk on, I don't see the fat on top. Seems to stick to the sides a little bit more. Right.
This
I don't know if
this
it's like-
definitely tastes like
our,
normal.
Our normal milk.
Yeah, I agree with you. That this is pretty close to our normal milk, but it has a little bit more of a. I don't know now.
Yeah, I don't know how to describe it. It's
I don't
it's
taste-
like a lighter. It almost tastes like this seems like a heavier, like denser thing. Oh, this seems a little bit lighter.
It tastes a lot the same to me now. They taste
No, there's a
different.
little funny aftertaste with this.
That's, I guess, what it is.
Okay.
Is it does have
Well,
a funny
see,
aftertaste.
Let's see what it is.
So what I know is that this was, because what I know is I poured jars 1, 2, and 3 into these.
Okay.
I think I did 1, 3, and 2.
And 3 was pasteurized.
Okay.
1 was store bought.
We got it.
And 2 was our regular milk.
All right,
so,
team.
so we can very much taste that difference even in a completely blind trial.
We can, but I would imagine if I was eating this with my cereal or having it with a cookie,
You might not notice.
it wouldn't
Maybe it's
feel,
just straight.
Yeah, it wouldn't feel that big of
I
a
guess
deal to me
it's not entirely
concentrated.
taste because we were able to visually
on this one.
determine that this one looked like it was
But
one of our.
I'm surprised though that the pasteurized one had that look of fat on it, whereas the non-regular one didn't. But maybe it's just where you probably tried to mix it up.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
It could be that the pasteurization process like clumped that fat together
Yeah,
more.
you mentioned cookies. When do we get the cookies?
As was seen in the tasting, we could easily tell the difference between the different types of milk, and even which ones they were. In discussion afterwards, we all agreed that we preferred the raw milk as opposed to the other types. However, this could be just because we're used to raw milk and that the other milks tasted different and the raw milk tasted normal, thus we preferred it. I've heard this is the case with a lot of things unless there's a major difference. A future aspect of this experiment could be to do the same thing with somebody who's used to drinking store-bought milk and see if they prefer the raw milk or the store-bought milk to get different opinions starting from different directions. Is it really that you just prefer what you're used to, or is the raw milk actually better?